I want to make another good point here with regards to the situation with these people that knew that they were lying about me doing drugs. I want people to know from the beginning I'm allergic to codeine, so I can't take street drugs. The only thing I could ever take is marijuana. And I'm not just talking about, because it's a drug, because everybody's really allergic to codeine and cocaine and all that. And opioids, if you think about it, because of the side effects. However, this is different. I am medically allergic. Which means when I have if I consume anything that's of opioid or codeine based, my throat will swell up and I have all kinds of problems on the insides. I puke and have all these other things, terrible things. I get rashes. All this other bad stuff happens to me. So that everyone gets an understanding. Also, your medical reports will tell whether or not you're a drug addict. These people knew from the beginning that I didn't do anything but smoke cigarettes and pot. Because there's things that go on with people when they do x-rays that let the medical people know, and CPS, Department of Health and Human Services, know whether or not a person is a drug addict. These people knew the whole time I wasn't. They never stopped to think about the long-term effects of what they were doing when they were defaming me. And they, what they did is defamation. They did it on purpose. I personally think it wasn't just about what happened with Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton with their administration when I lived in Bremerton, Washington, and in Seattle and Tacoma, Washington. I also think it had to do with me being competition. Because to be honest with you, when you stop and listen to what I have to say, and you hear what I talk about, you will understand and know that I actually know a little something about history, the government, regulations, law, the Constitution, all of these things that would make me a wonderful political candidate. So for this reason, I also feel that this was done to me and my children. Because, when you take people's kids, it makes them look like or give the impression of. So that's another reason that these guys did what they did. I also have to tell you that when they lie, they destroy a person's credibility. In the end, it's going to destroy these guys. But they tried and attempted to destroy my credibility and to make me look like a mental case. Only to benefit them. Who would that benefit? That's what you have to look at and see. But once you start peeling the layers away and start seeing the truth for what it is, you come to understand that, I'm not the one that was crazy. It was these guys. They got delusional with it. And to the point where they were so obvious, it was super crazy. So for those of you who are out there, I want you to take a lesson in some of the things in paying attention to my story and what you hear me speak on. As to some of the things, if you're being falsely accused, that you can use in order to defend yourself. I attempted to get these people to take a hair sample and they refused to because they knew it was going to prove me innocent. That's also why they didn't give me a drug test when they arrested me. And and found the weed in my car that Mr. Carpenter left from when Steve Griswold arrested me on Middle Crossing all them years ago. And put me in the car with that dude with the ticket for the little fish. Well, eventually in the end, all of that comes to a head. Just like it did the day in court. When I got Mr. Carpenter to confess that the marijuana was actually his and not mine. The judge, Mr. Dodge, said he wanted to teach me a lesson. Right? Shame on him for that. That's abuse of authority. Throwing me in jail because I proved that Mr. Carpenter was the one who left the weed in my car and he did it outside of my knowledge. That should have got me my pass to go home and got Mr. Carpenter arrested. But it didn't, because Judge Dodge wanted to teach me a lesson. Well, Mr. Dodge, what lesson are you going to teach somebody for trying to prove they're innocent and standing up for themselves? What kind of lesson are you doing? That's not a lesson. That's abuse of authority. You should be ashamed of yourself. Look what you did to damage me and my family long term. This isn't just about James O'Keefe. Look what you did. Look what Magistrate Feldman did. And Judge Dobrich, to name a few. With regards to what happened to me and my children, all of you have to answer for that. I urge anyone who's in a similar situation to mine to please document everything, because it will matter in the end. And remember, people, think before you act. If I would have thought and did what I had in thought in my spirit, what God was trying to tell me to, I never would have been in this situation. I pray that everybody uses what happened to me as a lesson to teach them to look at the long-term effects about what happens when you make poor choices. I'm stuck with a marriage forever because I felt sorry for Mr. O'Keefe, because he was trying to get out of his accountability for what he did to me. Please learn from that. With God's love. God bless America. Have a blessed day. And back the badge.